Now, this is a very important video because in this video, I will show you how to calculate exactly how much you are supposed to be paying for tax without any assistance from anyone, any professional, using a very simple model that will cost you just between 3 to 5 minutes. Trust me. Now, the model I want to show you will look exactly as if a tax expert is sitting right in front of you, helping you get accurate figures of either your staff tax that you will need to calculate to pay, your own personal tax, or what your business is supposed to pay as tax. That is if you're supposed to pay, except that you are going to be paying this professional I want to show you zero naira, $0. And yes, this method is even better than what your tax expert will help you calculate, and you will be done with all clarifications in less than 5 minutes. So guess who our expert is going to be? Yes, ChatGPT. But hey, before you run away, it is not what you have been doing when working with ChatGPT. This is amazingly a different strategy. So just stay with me and let me show you how to do this. And yes, after learning this, you can also apply it on several other things by just following the model that I'm going to show you right about now. Meanwhile, if you need help with your business registration, your export license, annual returns filings, commercial, trademark, and several others, or you want to learn how to make money from CAC, even if you are not an accredited agent, then you can hit me on WhatsApp chat using the WhatsApp number in the video description. Ready for this one? Let's get over to my laptop and let me show you. All right, so what I'm going to do right now is that I'm going to log in to my ChatGPT. Okay, so once I'm in, the next thing I want to do is that I will upload the Nigerian tax law, the entire law. Of course, I'm not expecting you to read that. We don't have to read it. Why should we go ahead to read it when, we have the AI to help us, ChatGPT is here to help us do the reading. So I won't even bother myself reading it. And yet, I will be trusting on the expertise of ChatGPT to give me a perfect interpretation of the law. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to come to this plus sign here. I'm going to click on that. Already, I have downloaded the tax law onto my laptop. If you want it, you can let me know. Maybe I can just give you a link for you to be able to also get it, okay, if you don't have it already. So I'll just come to this add photo and files here. I'm going to click on that and I'll go to my laptop, and then I'm going to look for my tax law, the entire tax law. Where are you? Okay, so the Nigerian Tax Act NTA 2095. Okay, so I'm just going to upload that, and I'll wait for it to be uploaded on ChatGPT. But truth be told, there are some other things that you must also put into consideration. For example, I've been using my account for a while, and I've done some interesting settings on my ChatGPT that makes ChatGPT know exactly who I am. It has been following me, or yeah, we've been following ourselves for a while. It knows that I'm a YouTuber, for example. It knows the kind of content that I create, and it knows that I am very interested in, interpretation of the tax law, for example. So every response that is going to be giving me will be based on some of the trainings I've given to ChatGPT in time past. So I expect to have a better result generally than somebody who doesn't have that level of training for his ChatGPT. Another thing is that you must also put into consideration is that I'm using the premium tool, as you can see here, the 5.2 version. So if you're not using the newest model, well, I don't know, you may not get the exact kind of result, but then I'm very sure that it will still give you something pretty amazing and fantastic. Okay, so I've done that. So the next thing is to put in my prompt. I won't even stress myself putting too much. Okay, like I said, ChatGPT already know who I am. So this is the prompt I'm going to use. My staff earns a monthly salary of 110,000 naira. Use the Nigerian Tax Act 2025 document I uploaded to calculate the exact amount that my staff will be remitting as tax according to the new Nigerian Tax Act 2025. Okay, so I'm just going to bring that, and then I'm going to give it to ChatGPT, and let's see what ChatGPT is going to give us. So I'm going to send this, and let's wait a few moments and let's see what we're going to have from ChatGPT. Okay, so let me just be reading even as it's developing responses from me. It's a short thing because it knows that I'm a Nigerian. Yeah. Let's calculate it strictly using the Nigerian Tax Act document you uploaded. So step one, confirm your staff's annual income. Monthly, 110. Annual, that's 110 times 12, which is 1.320. Okay, so step two, apply the new tax-free threshold. Now, the NTA 2025 introduced a tax exempt threshold of 800,000 naira for individuals. Okay, if you have been following some of my previous video, you know I talked about some of this, but this is just the reason why you should be using the ChatGPT, because you don't even need to know much. It's already telling you some things that you need to put into consideration while trying to do your calculation. So it says taxable income 1.320 minus 800,000 naira, as you can see. So my staff will be left with 520,000 naira. Okay, so step three, apply the tax band rate. Now the act states that first 800,000 naira, you're going to be paying zero tax. Of course, not as a business now, but as an individual or a salary earner. Next, 2.2 million, you're going to be paying 15%. Okay, your staff taxable portion, which is 520 now, falls inside the 15% band. Okay, so payee tax would be 15%. Okay, so I'm not even going to go through all of this because I'm not trying to teach you how to do the calculation. ChatGPT is already doing it for us, so it's more like a calculator. You don't tell the calculator to tell you how he arrives at an answer. All you're interested in is the answer. So let's go to our final answer. Final answer, exact tax remit. Annual payee tax is 78,000 naira. Monthly payee tax is 78 divided by. So my staff is going to be paying a tax of 6,500 naira every month. Based on that calculation, what your staff will take home after that monthly is going to be 110 minus this. So my staff is supposed to be going home with 103,000 naira instead of 110, but I have a little issue with this because I know that according to the new tax act, you also have what we call the rent relief of 20% of 500,000 naira mark. So, but from what ChatGPT is giving me here, it did not mention that. So I'm going to ask ChatGPT why it didn't mention that. So let's see what it's going to come up with. Okay, so I want to also believe that the reason why it did not make that deduction was because of the kind of prompt I included. So if in your own case, if your staff or your company is into the pension scheme and all other tax deductibles, you should also add it to your prompt so that ChatGPT can give you, a better breakdown. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now is that I'm going to include another prompt. Now look at what I said. Does the NTA 2025 allow my staff to enjoy the 20% or the 500,000 naira rent relief before the tax is calculated? If yes, can you recalculate the tax, putting the rent relief into consideration? Okay, so let me do that and let's see what ChatGPT is going to give to us again. So you can see now that ChatGPT is actually reading this document. So it's not just giving you random information or what it thinks should be the answer. It's actually reading and referring to the document I uploaded. So you can be sure that everything it's giving me is right from the tax law itself, not a random content, or a random report from anywhere. So you can trust what it's going to say. So it says, yes, the NTA 2025 allows rent relief before tax is calculated, but only if the employee actually pays rent and can declare and provide proof. From the documents you uploaded, you can see what I'm saying. The tax, eliminate the consolidated relief allowance, introduce rent relief under section, blah, 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 which is lower. Okay, so recalculating now. Where is it? Okay, recalculating, including rent relief. Now, staff annual salary, it's doing the breakdown again, the exemption. So, initial taxable income, 520. Now, apply rent relief. Rent relief, 20% of annual, which is this. But here, the key issue, I can only compute the exact tax if you tell me the staff annual rent paid. Okay, so it's now giving me scenario. So this is another place where you might need to put in your own ingenuity into this. So I'm supposed to tell ChatGPT now that my staff salary is 500,000 naira or 300,000 naira. But for me, I'm actually using a real life example. I have a staff that I pay that amount of money to, but I'm very sure that that staff is not paying rent. So if your staff is not paying rent, then there's no way you can prove it that it should be deducted. And that was the reason why ChatGPT did not actually remove it from, initially, because you have to prove that you are paying rent and you must show how much you're paying. So for example, if your rent is 350,000 naira, it's going to be removed. If it is it cannot be more than 500. So if your rent is a million naira, it's just 500,000 naira that it's going to be considered. So that's the reason why it's giving me these scenarios. Now it's not very precise. If I want it to give me a precise result, just like it gave me initially when we did not put the rent relief into consideration, it will give me. But what I will have to do is that I will have to rewrite my prompt and tell ChatGPT the exact amount. So let's even do it. All right, so I'll just come here. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to bring it back, and then I'm going to do a little bit of adjustment to that. Consideration. Note that my staff pays a annual rent of 400,000 naira. Okay, so let's see if ChatGPT is going to give me an exact figure now. So let's do that. All right, so again, I'm not going to bore you with how the calculation is done. If you want this particular, if you want everything so that you can at least learn it theoretically, I can also provide it for you. But for now, what I'm interested in is the final results. So let's go to final answer. So you can see monthly payee remittance is 5,500, annual payee is 66,000 naira, net salary payee only. So it's this. So you can see ChatGPT is saying that your staff just saved only 1,000 naira monthly compared to the earlier 6,500 tax estimate. So I will still look at this when I stop this video. But what it's saying now is that before we put rent relief into consideration, what did we have? Okay, the monthly tax is going to be 6,500. Of course, you can multiply that by 12. While the net pay is going to be 103,500. But now that we have put 400,000 naira into consideration, so it's saying it's actually not going to be, let's check that again. What we had here was 103,500. So now my staff is going to be going on with 104,500. Okay, while the tax is going to be 5,500 instead of the 6,500 that we had before. Okay, so you can see this is just a video. This is just a video demonstration of what you can do. So I will leave you to it. I'm very sure that you can use the idea that I've used in this particular video to be able to use ChatGPT to calculate exactly what you need to do, what you need to pay, what you're not supposed to pay, and everything, without necessarily waiting for a teacher or an accountant or an auditor or anybody to tell you what you're supposed to pay. Once you follow this model that I have described for you here, you will be able to calculate everything you need to calculate and get your actual figure without anybody doing that for you. So please, if you enjoyed this video, give it a like, go and give it a try. Let me know what you think. If you have tried it, let me see. Let's hear from you in the comment section, and let's see if it actually worked for you. Thank you. Please like this video, share it so that more persons can get to see this. And if you are a first-time visitor to this channel, you want to see more stuff like this, why not hit the subscribe button, turn on the alert bell so that YouTube can notify you when I create new videos. Thank you. I'll see you in the next one.